What is up everyone, Barricade here, and I wanted to bring you guys a quick Gears 5 discussion video. I know I haven't been too big on the Gears 5 multiplayer for quite some time now, and I've never really followed the What's Up articles and things like that, and that's simply because I felt like Gears 5 was going in a direction that I wasn't really a big fan of. But to be honest with you, lately, with the new changes that Gears 5 has been doing, I feel like it's going in the right direction, and I feel like I need to talk about the new updates that are going to be coming out with Gears 5. So essentially the very first thing I want to talk about is my favorite character, Dom, is finally going to be a multiplayer character in Gears 5. I'm ecstatic about that. I know that sounds kind of bad. It's kind of like, well, duh, he should have been a character from the beginning. That's honestly how I feel, but I'm glad that he's finally here. And it's showing that ever since the new developers have took over, the new people that have taken over ever since Rod left and all the other main people left, I feel like they are listening to the fans and they're really taking the game in the right direction. You know, if we saw in the trailer, we saw Dom and what looked like a new map, which is probably going to be Blood Drive, which everyone is saying. And even if it is Blood Drive, it's nice in seeing new content for the game. And I just want to see, even though it's just a remake of old map, but still, I'm just really glad that they're starting to add more characters, more stuff like that to the game with Operation 4. And just the one thing I wanted to talk about here is the major changes that they're doing to the game itself, and that's regarding the matchmaking for ranked. If you guys didn't know, when it comes to ranked, they're completely changing it and giving it a whole overhaul. From before, you had to play 5 placement matches, and then you would get a rank, and then you would go up or down. But with this new one, it's entirely different. So the way it works now, essentially, is you start off at bronze, so there's no placement matches. You just simply start off at bronze. And it's with this new type of point system that's actually really good in my opinion so far from what I've read here on paper. It sounds good because the major problem people had with the ranking system before was that you can do well, but you would still go down. It was like weird, like the ranking system was bugged or something, or maybe it didn't understand or calculate stuff properly, but it would essentially rank people down regardless of how good they did. Even if they would win, it was weird. But with this new system, I feel like it leaves little to no errors here to happen with the ranking system, because essentially the way it works is you play matches and you earn gear points. After you earn these gear points, you then use these gear points to enter matches. And you can always play matches regardless of how much gear points you have, even if you have 0. But essentially the way it works is depending on what actions you do in the game, if you win or if you at least do very well, you can earn gear points. And you essentially stock them up, and depending on how many gear points you have, it determines what rank you are. So if you lose matches, you don't do well, you lose gear points. If you do well, you earn them back. So I really like this idea because to me it feels like you're getting what you deserve, like you're earning things what you deserve depending on how well you do, etc. And it prevents errors because it's very straightforward. It's not like a weird percentage or anything like that. You just have a certain amount of gear points and that's the rank you are. So that's the thing I really like, because one example I can give is I'm a big fan of the game Dead by Daylight. I play that a lot. And the way their ranking system works is you earn what they call pips, which I guess is kind of like the same thing, same type of process. You do well, you can earn a pip. You do bad, you lose a pip. So depending on how well you do, you rank up or go down. So that's the one thing I really like about this, is because it's really straightforward in that fashion. So essentially you just play games, earn these gear points and everything like that, and then depending on what rank you are, you essentially can earn rewards at the end of the season. So to me, it's essentially kind of similar to the old ranking system, but in a way that's a lot more straightforward. And I'm pretty sure we'll be able to even see how much gear points we have and everything, so we'll know exactly where we are. So that's the one thing I really like, and this might actually make me start playing ranked as well. The one thing that's really going to be interesting as well with this new update to Operation 4 is that they are going to be removing Team Deathmatch and Escalation from the ranking system. Essentially the main ranking game types are going to be King of the Hill, Gridiron, and 2v2 Nasher, and also solo free-for-all. So overall this is kind of interesting because I'm really surprised they're taking off Escalation. And from what I could tell, I believe it stated that even Escalation won't even have a multiplayer playlist anymore. It's going to be simply a option for custom lobbies, and TDMs is going to have its own specific playlist as well. So this is really interesting because they're essentially doing away with Escalation. And in my opinion, to be 100% honest with you guys, I've never been a fan of Escalation. I've never liked it. I never thought it was fun. it just always felt really, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, but really unorthodox, I guess is probably one way to put it. And just, I've never thought the game mode was fun or even fun to watch. Whenever they would do the tournaments and all they did was play escalation, it was just snooze fest to me. But I feel like Gridiron should be the new focus that they use for ranking, because I feel like Gridiron is a lot more fun, a lot more straightforward, and it just has a lot of great moments while playing it. It kind of brings back that heavy competitiveness that the older modes from previous Gears of War games have. I don't know, you guys can give your opinion on it, but overall I feel like Gridiron is a solid mode and I really like it. It's actually became my favorite mode to play now with my friends. We just play it all the time now, and it's just the one mode that honestly brought me back to Gears 5. Like, I honestly was not touching Gears 5 for months. I would ignore operations. I would make a few videos here and there, never really care about the multiplayer. But I feel like these steps that they're doing with the new mode, new operations, that they're taking the game in a good step. And I feel like if they just keep adding more characters, adding more things to the game, that it could bring people back. And it can bring a lot of classic Gears fans to the game and make a lot of people happy. The one thing I wanted to point out here in the next part of this video is that when it comes to the Coalition, I feel like they are really trying to listen to their fans. And one example is that they are having ideas for Operation 4 and even Operation 5. So for example, with Operation 4, we're getting, as it shows right here, new characters, maps, a new ranking system, everything that went over here. But the one thing that's quite interesting that I noticed in this post was they're saying a new store including an earnable currency. So that's interesting. So the one thing that I'm really curious on how that's going to work is that mean that we're going to be able to earn more iron, like just be able to earn iron and purchase characters that way and not have to actually spend as much money. It's really hard to say on what that means by that, but I really hope that's what that means. But they have no information quite yet about the earnable currency. But the one thing that's going to be really cool with both operations is that they know that people want maps. So with Operation 4, it's going to be a little limited with maps. They're not going to have too many maps. But they said with Operation 5, they want to heavily increase the volumes of maps that are going to be coming out. So it's going to be something that is going to be more on the regular starting Operation 5. And I know it's going to be like, yeah, it's already almost a year in the game, barely going to be getting new maps, things like that. But at least they're trying. Some developers don't care. They don't want to improve. They just kind of just shovel stuff out. But with the Coalition, it feels like they really are trying to improve now. And the one thing that I really like as well is one major complaint was that when it came to Horde and Escape, that when you played as these characters, you had to be a specific character to have a specific class and abilities, things like that. But when it comes to PvE, those type of modes, they stated that in Operation 5, they want to completely remove that, which is awesome because now you can be any character with any ability starting in Operation 5. So the thing that's really cool about that is now you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to be Marcus if you want to use a headshot ability. You don't have to be Kate if you want to turn invisible. You can just pretty much do any character, any ability, and it allows a lot more, better combinations, a lot more fun for the game itself, and anyone could just do anything they want. So that's the one thing I really like, that they're really listening on that aspect as well when it comes to the PvE modes. So overall, guys, just kind of wanted to give you guys my personal opinion on Gears 5 right now, and give an update on what they're doing for the ranking system, for the characters, the maps, everything like that, because I feel like in the end right now Coalition is taking the right steps. It's not quite there yet. It still needs more things to make it an amazing Gears game, but if they can just follow through with all these promises that they're giving us and follow suit with this great example that they're throwing out, this game can actually turn out to be one of the best Gears games. It just depends if they put the work in. If you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button and subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about these updates to Gears 5, this Gridiron, these new modes, these new maps, everything. Has any of this stuff made you feel like Gears 5 is more enjoyable to you? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see my most recent Gears of War video, hit that link on the left. If you want to see any of my other content, hit that link on the right. Thanks for watching, guys.